6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The Prime Minister says domestic gas issue will be solved soon. A circular issued allowing no-pay leave for public service officers to secure jobs locally or overseas. Dozens of Sri Lanka bondholders joined debt restructure talks. Demand for liquor decreased by 30%. Custom officers detect drugs valuing more than 130 million rupees at the Central Mail Exchange. Foreign news, the U.S. gun control bill clears first hurdle in U.S. Senate. Sports, Women's PGA Championship doubles 2022 prize money. News in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says International Monetary Fund has appreciated local programs. He said that a program has been prepared to get the participation of all political parties to solve the present crisis. He said national food production, accelerated cultivation, seed sapling programs have been launched. The Prime Minister was replying to a question raised by Venerable Athuraliya Ratanathero in Parliament today. Measures have been taken to obtain rice, sugar, dal and other essential goods under the Indian credit line. 40,000 metric tons of rice will be distributed among low-income recipients. The Prime Minister said Paddy Marketing Board is gathering additional stocks. Steps will be taken to provide wheat flour to estate communities. He said people will be given subsidies to the value of 200 billion rupees. Prime Minister Wickremesinghe said an accelerated program has been implemented to solve the domestic gas problem. He said steps have been taken to import 100,000 metric tons of gas. It will solve the domestic gas issue island-wide. The World Bank has contributed $70 million and the government $20 million in this regard. The Prime Minister said efforts have been made to get maximum quantities of fuel. A circular has been issued today allowing public service officers no-pay leave to secure jobs locally or overseas without causing any prejudice to seniority and pension. It has been decided to grant no-pay leave for public service officers for them to be here or overseas under special provisions deviating from the provisions existing in the Establishment Code that allows no-pay leave. Accordingly, public service officers are able to obtain no-pay leave for a total period of 5 years as the maximum period. More than 30 asset managers holding Sri Lanka's international bonds announced on Tuesday the formal launch of a creditor group to start debt restructuring talks with the island nation, according to a statement from legal advisor White & Case LLC. Reuters said Amandi Asset Management, BlackRock, HBK Capital Management, Morgan Stanley Investment Management and T. Rowe Price Associates are among members of the group's steering committee, which has Rothschild & Company as a financial advisor. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. It was revealed at the Committee on Public Finance that the demand for liquor has decreased by about 30% due to the recent increase in the price of liquor and the decrease in the income of people of the country. This was revealed at a meeting of the Committee on Public Finance chaired by MP Anurupriya Darshanayapa. Officials representing several institutions were contacted online to discuss plans to increase government revenue and their current status. Accordingly, officials representing the Ministry of Finance, Economic Stabilisation and National Policies, the Inland Revenue Department and the Sri Lanka Excise Department, Sri Lanka Customs were contacted online. Ambassadors and High Commissioners of Myanmar, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand and Indonesia have met President Gotabaya Rajapaksa this afternoon at the President's house in Colombo. The President thanked the diplomats for the support given by their countries to solve the economic crisis. He briefed them on Sri Lanka's tourism promotion, investments, agriculture, education and many other sectors. Lengthy discussions took place on exporting goods to those countries. Custom officers at the Central Mail Exchange have found over 13,000 ice pills. They said the street value of the pills is more than 130 million rupees. They have found the drugs when they checked a suspicious parcel sent from Netherlands by post. Customs media spokesman Deputy Customs Director Sudatta Silva said the drugs were cleverly hidden between 7 bed sheets in the parcel. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said $34 million was paid yesterday for a shipment of furnace fuel. He said the shipment will be unloaded today and to be used for power generation and industries. The ministry is planning to continue with 2.5-hour power cuts until the Norachole power plant will be operational after the route need maintenance and until it's connected to the national grid. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, the Urban Development Authority will conduct mobile services at district level to provide solutions for several unresolved key issues with regard to the local government authorities in the country. Arrangements have been made to conduct the mobile service in order to expedite the approval process of plans submitted by municipal councils, urban councils and Pradesh Sabhas, which have not been approved by the UDA. The programs will be conducted covering all districts from June 28 to August 18th. And that was Watchlight. Moving on to a bulletin of world news in the headlines. The U.S. gun control bill clears first hurdle in U.S. Senate. Australia is to lift electricity market suspension as prices ease. A political rift in India's richest state, Maharashtra, puts the fate of its government in jeopardy. World news in detail. The U.S. Senate has taken a first step towards passing what has been called the most significant new gun controls in a generation. Senators voted to speed up the passage of the bipartisan bill, meaning it could be signed into law next week. Although significant, the proposals fall far short of what many Democrats and activists have called for in the wake of a spate of mass shootings. Australia's energy market operator says it will lift its suspension of the country's main wholesale electricity market as its power crisis eases. The restrictions will be temporarily lifted tomorrow before a final decision is made. In an unprecedented move last week, it suspended trading on the platform following a surge in prices. Officials also urged people in the state of New South Wales to conserve power over concerns about shortages. A political rift in India's richest state, Maharashtra, has put the fate of its government in jeopardy. Eknath Shinde, a senior minister in the state government, says he has the support of 40 of the 56 lawmakers from the ruling Shiv Sena party. His rebellion has brought the state's Sena-led coalition government to the brink of collapse. Senior party leaders, including Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, have urged Mr. Shinde to reconsider his decision. Back to the headlines of the world news. The U.S. gun control bill clears first hurdle in U.S. Senate. Australia is to lift electricity market suspension as prices ease. A political rift in India's richest state, Maharashtra, puts the fate of its government in jeopardy. And that ends world news. Moving on to a bulletin of development news, the Cabinet of Ministers approved the proposal made by Environment Minister Ahmed Nasir to implement the updated National Environment Policy. Co-Cabinet spokesman Mahinda Amarvira said that the Environment Ministry has taken measures to update the National Environmental Policy and strategies published in 2003 with the advice of the environmental experts and stakeholders as well as the views of the public. And that was development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Defending champion Nelly Korda and strong British contingent will play for a record $9 million purse at this week's Women's PGA Championship after organisers doubled its prize money. The winner of this year's major, which tees off on Thursday in Bethesda, Maryland, will collect $1.35 million. It is a 300% purse increase since 2014, the year before sponsors KPMG joined. PGA of America President Jim Richardson said it was part of a desire to elevate women's golf. And that was sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
JUN Holdings announced it will raise the equivalent of $75 million of foreign direct investment by way of a private placement of Sri Lankan rupee denominated unlisted convertible debentures to certain controlled affiliates of the Fairfax Financial Holdings Limited, headquartered in Canada. The transaction amounts to a value of $27.06 billion rupees. The debentures will be issued at a price of 130 rupees each, resulting in the issue of 208,125,000 debentures to Fairfax with a maturity period of 3 years. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
The overall rate of inflation as measured by the National Consumer Price Index on year-on-year basis is 45.3% in May 2022 and inflation calculated for April 2022 was 33.8%. With respect to May 2021, the reported inflation for the month of May 2022 was mainly due to the higher price levels prevailed in both food and non-food groups. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Met Department says several spells of showers will occur in the western, Sabragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places in the Uva and eastern provinces during the afternoon or night. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, the headlines again. The Prime Minister says domestic gas issue will be solved soon. A circular issued allowing no-pay leave for public service officers to secure jobs locally or overseas. Dozens of Sri Lanka bondholders joined debt restructure talks. Demand for liquor decreased by 30%. Custom officers detect drugs valuing more than 130 million rupees at the Central Mail Exchange. Foreign news, the U.S. gun control bill clears first hurdle in U.S. Senate. Sports, Women's PGA Championship doubles 2022 prize money. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.